Good morning. My name is Roger Upham. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm a member of the Board of Directors here. Welcome to White Bear Unitarian Universalist Church. We are a community of youth, adults, and children of many diverse theologies, held together by covenant, not creed. Together we work to build trust, search for meaning, and serve the world. May you know deep welcome and belonging in this place. We know that each Sunday we carry into this community hearts that are breaking and others carrying hearts with tender joy. If you wish to share a request and if you wish to share a request for today's meditation, please place it in the chat box or in the meditation bowl in the Soul Work Center, where people of all ages can find activities to help them engage with today's service. Welcome, visitors. We are so glad you're here. Please join us today for a 12-minute intro and tour. You can find Gloria over here by the fabric wall right after the service. If you are visiting with children, we do offer spiritual growth opportunities for our children and youth at this service. At both services, we offer nursery care. As always, your children are welcome to stay with you during the service. We welcome the noises, movements, and joys that our little ones bring. Let's take a moment and wave to those who are online as well. Welcome, Zoomers. This is the last Sunday of our pledge campaign. Once per year, during March, we ask that all of our members and friends think about what they can give financially to the church during the next fiscal year and pledge that amount. That way, our board can create a budget to fit the anticipated contributions of its members and friends. And this year, we need each other, now more than ever. And this morning, we have a few short videos to share with you.
Hi, my name is Joe Wild. I use he, him pronouns. And I first came to White Bear UUC via Zoom in those days when the brilliant staff here was reinventing community. In those days when we were all starved for meaningful, soul-nourishing connections and interactions with each other. This is a place that feeds my soul. I don't know that I've ever felt more welcome any place in my life. From the first time our opening words reached my ears, come into this place. I love that welcome and each and every authentic one of us. Open doors, open hearts, open minds. I pledge to this church out of what might be called enlightened self-interest. To feel yourself welcomed as a partner in building a better world, working together, pooling our resources and our talents and gifts, and feeling supported in times of worry and woe, grief and sorrow, of uncertainty, of being given the opportunity to step out of your comfort zone, to try something that might be a little scary, but you might really come to love. Like join a choir or a committee doing good works in the world, or to just look over the edge in wonder, if you will. To me, these are invaluable resources. Personal growth and, yes, happiness. I love working together with others. Who knew? I learn so much and hopefully sometimes offer something of meaning or value to others. What better way to invest our time? The thing that I love most about WBUUC is not the being able to have coffee in the church service. It's you. It's all of you and what we have built and are still building together. Well, and the coffee thing.
I'm Lisa Borg, and my pronouns are she, her. I come to WBUC because it represents everything I believe in, and we pledge to support this church because it does the work that we can't do by ourselves. My favorite thing about the church is that there are such friendly faces here, people with like minds, and I really feel at home here.
Welcome to our church. Together we grow our souls and serve the world in love.
Thank you to members of the White Bear Big Band for your music this morning. What a gift! A visitor said to me after the first service, "Do they play regularly? That's amazing." So thank you all for the gift of your music this morning. My name's Reverend Jessica. I'm your lead minister here. My pronouns are she, her. Will you join me in the call to worship? And if you know it, let's say it together. If you don't know it or don't feel like saying anything, just receive the words as if the community is speaking them just to you. Come in. Come into this place which we make holy by our presence. Come in with all your vulnerabilities and strengths, fears and anxieties, loves and hopes. For here you need not hide nor pretend, nor be anything other than who you are and who you are called to be. Come into this place where we can touch and be touched, heal and be healed, forgive and be forgiven. Come into this place where the ordinary is sanctified, the human is celebrated, the compassionate is expected. Come into this place. Yeah, we do.
My name is Jerry Yans. My pronouns are he, him. The theme for this month is trust. When I was a young man, I didn't fully understand the importance of having friends to trust at the very deepest level. I was a late bloomer in that regard. Then 25 years ago, Marcia and I discovered this church, and now I see trusted friends everywhere I turn. This congregation steps up when help is needed to support the church's mission. The volunteering attitude is remarkable. There are work groups, study groups, fundraising groups, service groups, productive communities, committees. Not all committees are productive. The committees here are definitely productive. They're all active here. And in addition to group activities, I've found trustworthy friends here who are ready and willing to help on a personal, face-to-face level in challenging times. Having the ear of a trusted friend can go a long way toward calming a troubled mind. Let me share one little example. One day about a month ago, I felt a little vibration on my wrist. It was my Apple Watch sending me a message, which said, "Your resting heart rate has increased significantly." It showed a graph which showed over a span of about 2 months, a steady resting heart rate at 63 beats per second, which suddenly went up to 72 and stayed there for about the last month. I thought, what's going on? I couldn't figure out what was happening. I tend to trust this little gadget because a friend of mine who's a cardiologist uses his Apple Watch to monitor his own cardiac function. So it's the real deal. I wondered what in the world could be causing the change. I hadn't changed my eating habits or my exercise routines. Then when I looked closely at the graph, I realized that sudden increase in heart rate occurred on January 20th. What could possibly have happened to bring that on? The turmoil that began then has left me anxious to the point of losing sleep and feeling on edge much of the time. I know I'm not alone in that. It's taking a toll on my sense of peace and happiness. I realized I needed to find a coping strategy to settle my mind and hopefully also my heart rate. So I went to my most trusted friend for advice. Marcia had recently read a review of a memoir called 10% Happier by Dan Harris about his study of meditation and how it helped him calm his so-called monkey brain. Marcia bought the book for me and I read it and began exploring the potential benefits of meditation. I've kept this little project mostly to myself, but have mentioned it to several friends in this congregation, and they have each shared their own experiences with meditation and offered helpful resources. I'm barely scratching the surface of this exploration, but with the help of trusted friends, I hope to bring that heart rate back down to a healthier set point. Dealing with the cause of the change is something altogether different. I'd like to share one more story that's a stunning example of shared trust among the members of this church. Many of you already know this story because you were part of it. I offer it now as a reminder to you and as potentially new information to members who have joined more recently. 20 years ago, this church was bursting at its seams, but the seams were different then. This sanctuary didn't exist. Services were held in what is now the social hall, 2 services each week with a shared social hour in between. Some people visiting on their way out after the first service, some people on their way in for the second. The congregation was growing, but we were running out of space for seats. And advisors at the UUA warned that when seats fill up, growth stops. We wanted open doors and space to welcome all comers. To explore the possibility of enlarging the church, we enlisted a group of development professionals to perform a feasibility study. An effort was made to interview every church member. What did the church mean to them? How did they benefit from membership? What did they value most? What issues did they think needed to be addressed? And foremost, would they consider contributing resources to an expansion of the church? The study showed that the commitment of members was strong, making expansion a real possibility. A capital campaign committee was appointed with the goal of raising $2 million to build a new sanctuary to be funded by the church membership. It's a very ambitious goal. The initial phase of the campaign was conducted in silence among a small and dedicated group of members with the goal of getting significant commitments to cover a sizable portion of the target amount. At the end of that silent phase, in a special service, the Capital Campaign Committee announced the funding drive and the planned expansion to the entire congregation. The goal of $2 million, along with a request that members consider a one-time donation that was 5 times their annual operating pledge, probably stunned a lot of people. But the shock was softened when it was then announced that fully half of the $2 million had already been pledged in that initial private stage. When that announcement was made, the choir broke into a rousing performance of the Hallelujah Chorus to celebrate. It was really a moment to remember. The second phase of the campaign, the public phase, brought the total amount of pledges to $2.1 million, with a high percentage of members donating funds for the project. We were in disarray for about 2 years while construction was underway, and here we are today. It's a great success. At the beginning of this story, I used the term shared trust. 20 years ago, the church leadership trusted the congregation to achieve a huge goal to help further the mission of the church. And the congregation, in turn, trusted the leadership enough to invest their resources in that expansion. The wonderful space we're sitting in now is a result of that shared trust. And now, by the way, 20 years after that capital campaign, we recently completed another successful campaign, which increased the church's endowment by $469,000. You all are amazing. Love is the spirit of this church. We say it every Sunday. The best definition of love is based not on feelings, but on actions. I light the chalice today in honor of the leaders and members of this congregation who can be trusted to act in principled, generous ways to carry that loving spirit forward. Please join me in the opening words, which are printed in the order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Our opening hymn today is number 346, Come Sing a Song with Me. And during our opening hymn, it is interactive. Who's feeling like getting interactive this morning? You're like, wait, we come to the 11. We've had our post meal. We're here to receive. Well, you are here to receive flowers this morning. So during our opening hymn, you are invited. Can I have my flower volunteers come to their stations, please? You're invited to come to, we have 3 stations down in front, 1, 2, 3. We have, Amy's going to go up to the balcony, and we have 3 stations in back, 1, 2, 3. And so you can go to a station and receive a rose, and then the person there will greet you and say, you are welcome here. So this is an act of great welcoming. And if you do not want to come forward, I will bring a rose to you. So not everyone has to come forward. Please rise in body and spirit for our opening hymn. Come sing a song with me and go to the nearest rose station of your choice as we welcome each other.
Good morning. My name is Amy. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm your Director of Religious Education. And in a moment, we are going to sing our children and our facilitators on their way to their circles. But I thought one thing you might not know is that in our circles, we spend time thinking, learning, and creating about the exact same things that you all are exploring here in worship. And we do this so that even when we are apart, we can all be in this work together. So today we are going to explore today the ways that we live into love is the spirit of this church and service is its law, and how we do this with loving hearts and helping hands, and we make our world and our community a better place. And when we do this together, we build trust together. So before we sing the kids on their way, I'm going to invite the kids to leave their roses with their grown-ups, because we're going to need our helping hands to plant some seeds of our own today. And then we're going to sing our children on our way. The hymn is Go Lift It Up, and I'm going to invite you to rise in body and spirit as we bless our children and facilitators on their way in this work together.
And I forgot to mention that those watching online, you are welcome to come and get your roses in the office this week. So everyone can get one, and we have a lot of extras. So if there's someone that maybe needs a rose in our wider community, feel free to take some to them. Now is the time when we make space to name the ways that our hearts are broken and whole together, grieving and joyful, all at the same time. Some of us may be holding more of one than the other. So I invite you to settle into your seat. If you're watching online, if you can pause, if you're doing something, and make a little space, spend a little time breathing into your heart space. Notice if anything is clenched. Notice if your hands are clenched. Try and relax them. You can still be holding your roses. As we breathe together, breathe into your heart. We come to worship services to tend to our spirits, but also to tend to the cares of this community. We know that the world is breaking our hearts right now, and also we carry our own personal joys and sorrows, and we pray for opening and unfurling like the rose before us. Our song that we will sing after our prayer this morning is I Know This Rose Will Open, number 396 in the gray hymnal. The words will be on your screen, but if you want to open your hymnal now, you're welcome to have it prepared. This morning, we hold in care many members of this community. I invite you to repeat after me when I name each prayer. We hold you in care. Let's practice it now. We hold Julie Wild in care as she received a diagnosis of breast cancer. Prayers as she is awaiting results from test results. We hold Stephen Freund in care as he recovers from a blood clot in his lung on Thursday. We hold Diana Smith in care. She is at Boutwell's nursing facility recovering from a fall last week and surgery as a result of that fall. Helen Doritza says, for all of us needing strength of heart and mind in turbulent times, may we find it together. Longtime member Mary McLeod passed away last week. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we will remember her, and we hold in care all who knew her and loved her. We hold Myron Andes at Northwestern in care. Someone writes, thinking of a family in our local community who are grieving the devastating loss of their 14-year-old daughter who died by suicide. May we send light and love to them and to anyone dealing with mental illness themselves or who have a loved one struggling. Someone writes, sending love, hope, and strength to transgender kids and their parents and all trans folk. Katie Heathcote writes, remembering my mom, Susan Yar, she would have been 67 this Tuesday. Someone asks us to hold all LGBTQ plus people in care. And now we make space to name some of our joys because we know our hearts are big enough for them. We hold that John Weiss is in remission from cancer, and so I invite us to say, we hold you in joy. And someone writes, a great joy, my sister from Maine is here, caretaking me and is my spiritual guide. And now you may name the cares, the joys, the sorrows that are on your heart that you would like to lift into this space. And I invite us to do one last, we hold you in care and joy. Will you join me in a moment of prayer? Holy One, our hearts are carrying so much right now. The sorrows of the world, we lift into prayer the people of Sudan, the people of Gaza. We pray for peace, an end to war, for people to be able to live their lives, to be able to have joy and meaning and rebuild in the face of so much loss. We hold the people of this country for whom our heart breaks, sometimes multiple times daily. We hold our own hearts as each of us decides how much news we can take. As each heart decides how much it has the bandwidth for each day. As we still wake up each morning, greeting the day, remind us to make time and space to go towards beauty, to go towards those soothing things that bring us care, maybe a hot cup of tea on a cold morning, maybe meditating on the beauty of a rose. We hold the people in our circles who are facing diagnoses, who are grieving the loss of loved ones, who are facing uncertainty, economic uncertainty, job loss, who are fearing the financial future for themselves and their families. We hold in deep care. Holy One, help us to remember that we have a piece of the divine inside of us, that we are made of stardust, that we are connected and responsible for each other. In our most lonely moments, we are responsible for each other and we are not alone. Help us to continue to go towards each other in the midst of it all. For all of these things we pray. Amen. Please join me in a minute of silence, followed by singing our hymn, I Know This Rose Will Open.
As we prepare to collect our offertory, we want to bring attention to a few announcements. This Wednesday, you are invited to join us for community meal, followed by choir practice, art and soul, and a forum on honest sex ed. Honest Sex Ed Minnesota envisions a state where all students receive accurate, inclusive, and accessible sexual health and relationship education that fosters lifelong health and well-being. All are welcome on Wednesday evening at 5:30. In additional community news announcements, I now invite Dick Haskett or Krista Meyer for exciting news.
Good morning. My name is Krista Mayer, and I use she, her pronouns. And I'm excited to announce that starting in September, WBUUC will once again be a teaching congregation with a ministerial intern. I know, woohoo! The preliminary intern committee and Reverend Jessica recently interviewed candidates, and we are delighted to say that our choice, Caswell Burr, has accepted. Kaz grew up in the Unity congregation in St. Paul. He earned a bachelor's degree in English and a teaching certificate at Lawrence University. He taught in the St. Paul schools in both long call and short call substitute positions. And he spent a year studying at Union Theological Seminary in New York before returning to the Twin Cities to pursue a Master's of Divinity at United Theological Seminary. He will be in his final year of study this next church year while he will be with us. And over the years, WBUUC has supported many ministerial interns on their path of formation, myself included. And we are super excited about Kaz and the many gifts that he will bring. And we are looking forward to a year of mutual learning and growth together. And he is lovely. I think you will just really enjoy having him here. So it's great news.
Please join us for our service next Sunday, where we will celebrate and bless Reverend Jack as he goes on sabbatical for 5 months. Each week, we practice generosity in the form of giving to our offertory plate. You can give via the offertory baskets on the website or use the text to give number shown on the screen. However you choose to give, thank you for your generosity and your faith in this life we live together. The offertory will now be gratefully collected.
Good morning. My name is Kevin Mackin, personal pronouns he, him, and I am the last member of the stewardship team to present. I can feel the ripples of relief flowing through the church. St. Patrick's Day just passed, and I have a story with a moral that is relevant. So Seamus Mahoney went to visit the Catholic priest to make a request. Top of the day, Father Flanagan. How you be doing? I'm doing grand, Seamus. What can I do for you? Well, Father, me dog died. I love the wee one so. I was wondering if you could do a short service on Sunday after Mass for him. Ah, Seamus, I'm truly sorry for your loss. But this is a Catholic church. We can't be doing services for every pet that dies. Oh, I understand, Father. He said, there's a Unitarian church down the way. They'll do just about anything. Oh, glory be, Father. And I was thinking, what would be fair compensation? Like maybe 10,000 euro? My God, Mahoney, why didn't you tell me the dog was Catholic? The moral of the story is that the Catholic Church got Seamus's money, so we have to do a pledge drive. Question number 1, why do I come to church? I come for the trifecta: great music, inspiring sermons, and a powerful sense of community. Question 2, what do I like most about the WBUUC? I like being challenged by the readings, reflections, and sermons. If I were a better person, I would end each day reflecting on what I did to become a better person and what I did to make a better world. But I'm not that reflective of a person, so I come to church to become who I am called to be. Question 3, why do I pledge? Mother Teresa said, give until it hurts. I'm sorry, Mother Teresa, but that's a bit masochistic. I give until it feels good. It feels good to give my fair share because I am in covenant with this community. This will be hard to believe, but I'm not 45 anymore. When I was 45, I had 3 kids, lots of needs, and college expenses on the horizon. I donated, but I just didn't have that much discretionary income to be a big donor. Now I'm retired and I have more discretionary income, so it makes sense that I should give more. Those who have more should give more because it feels good. I want to do a special nod to the online folks. Whether you are here in person or online, you are every bit as important to this community. We welcome your donations, but more importantly, we welcome you as an integral part of our community. Last but not least, don't wait. You don't want me calling you to remind you to pledge. Now, there was a year during my 50s where I was unemployed. And I filled out my pledge card and I put in a meager amount. And to be honest, I was embarrassed at how small of an amount it was. But in filling out that pledge card, I said, I am committed to the church and I'm giving what I can. And so I ask that of all of you, is to fill out your pledge cards. Don't wait. Whatever the amount, you give what you can. So for all of you who have pledged, and all of you who will pledge today at the table out there, all of you who are going to pledge next week, whenever you pledge, for all you do, this bud's for you.
You and I must make a pact. We must bring salvation back where there is love. People of White Bear Unitarian Universalist, visitors, longtime attenders, you are welcome here. You are welcome just as you are as we commit to the work of relationship together. We are bringing salvation back. We have love at the center of our promises that we make to each other. This month, our theme is trust, and today, as we celebrate the end of our pledge campaign, there is cake in the social hall. I offer a reflection on the trust that we have built together since August of 2023 and on how trust is created in a congregation. 2 years ago at this time, I emailed the Unitarian Universalist Association saying, I would love to come here and be your lead minister. I was reading and rereading emails from the search committee, trying to read between the lines to see if I was their first choice or second or third. I even forwarded the emails on to my friends. What do you think? I spent many long nights wondering what my future would be, and a week later, I got the call asking me to be your lead minister, to which I replied, yes. Oh. You should really clap for your search committee. 1 year ago, we were deep in the planning of our celebration of shared ministry, my installation. And at that installation last May, introduced by then Vice President and now President Heather McLean, we, as in you, the congregation, and I, made commitments to each other. And we were already practicing these commitments, but this was a formalizing of them. That's what we do together in this faith. We make promises about how we want to be together and the world we want to create, and then we try our best to live by those promises. This is not a creedal faith. This is a covenantal faith built on trust and commitment. And I will say, just a note to Kevin's story, we will do a small service for your pets because we know they are beloved. And we honor them in services. And if you want to give $10,000 for that, go for it. We continue to make our way together with hearts open to curiosity as we embrace the change that is inherent in a new ministry with courage and compassion. So let me let you in on a little secret. No minister lives under the illusion that they are everyone's minister. There are people that are here because of me. There are people that are here because of Reverend Jack. And there are people that are here because of you all. And people that leave for these very reasons as well. It's typical, especially in the first 5 years of a ministry, for some people to leave the church, to not feel like it's their church anymore, and for others to come and feel as if they've found home. Therefore, for those who stay and have continued to stay and commit to this congregation, we, your current installed ministers, have the utmost gratitude and respect for the ways that you continue to enter into relationship with us over and over again. You trust us to hold you, to hear your complaints, sorrows, and joys as we do church together, as we search for meaning in this world that breaks our hearts daily, sometimes multiple times a day. This doing church together is sacred and holy and transformative. And we're able to journey on our spiritual paths together, on our justice-making paths, because of the trust that continues to be built here. 9 years ago, I was interning at Unity Church Unitarian in St. Paul and was newly building a friendship with a local minister who continues to be a strong frawleague, that means friend and colleague, and a source of support today. So 9 years ago, we were talking about trust in the congregation and how trust is earned, and she told me, you gain trust inch by inch in serving a congregation. I had been interning at a congregation that was served by the same co-ministers at that point for almost 15 years. They were beloved and trusted. So I naively assumed when they came in, they were just handed that trust. I learned that message over and over again about trust being slowly given and earned in my first ministry. And often the way it's earned is through conflict in the source of transformation. And I came to this ministry with you knowing the work of building long-term relationship happens slowly, intentionally, and with care. And we're just doing the best we can. A story. My first year with you, I heard during the interim years, Reverend Roger came in and you had a practice of saying the same call to worship, opening words and closing words for all of your services. The story I heard was that he had changed the closing words with very little pushback. Therefore, I naively thought I could change your call to worship words to, I know, to allow for some different ways to enter worship. I freely admit, and I've admitted from this pulpit before, it wasn't my best idea in my first year. When I started to get some pushback, I said, okay, let's just change it to every other week. Again, not one of my best ideas in the first year. Trust is gained inch by inch. One of you met with me, and side note, what an act of courage and bravery it is to meet with a new minister and tell them that what they're doing is wrong. It's scary. It's not the Midwestern way, right? And I'm so glad this person did this. So they met with me, which was an act of building trust, and said, when Reverend Roger changed the closing words, he put something in the e-news, which is our weekly email, that said, I'm thinking about changing the closing words. Please let me know if you have thoughts on this. And this person said, all we want to do is be asked our opinion before big changes happen. This person was completely correct, and I valued that sharing with me and trusting me that I could hold it. Therefore, this year, when the staff was thinking about going to a digital order of service, we decided to ask your opinions first. And as a staff of a large congregation of 610 members, we can't bring you in on every single decision we make, but we can find ways for the big decisions that impact you to invite input. And for some of those other decisions, we trust your committees and elected leadership to provide guidance and opinions on issues. Therefore, when we polled you and said, what do you think about a digital order of service? We heard all different opinions. The vote was ambiguous with slightly more preference towards paper, and that poll has closed, but if you have deep thoughts you need to share, feel free to email them to me. And we're so grateful for those of you who filled out the survey, for those of you who come to us directly and share your thoughts and opinions, even when you know we may not change the way we're doing things, but you trust us to listen. So we still haven't made a decision on the paper versus digital order of service. We're still in discernment around that. But know that we value your opinions and want to build trust and relationships with you. Building trust is making brave space, entering into conflict. This is what we do together in the source of relationship. And we have this sacred container, this congregation, and the covenants that we make that hold us as we move forward together. Pledging is a covenant. It is a promise, a commitment, an act of trust and hope. And whether your pledge is $1 versus $10,000, they all matter. They are all a covenant, a promise, an act of hope. So thank you today on our final Pledge Campaign Sunday for those of you who filled out your pledges. We need each other now more than ever. Thank you for your generosity. Your pledge is an act of trust in this congregation. It's saying, I'm sharing my monetary resources with this congregation because I trust staff and leadership to do the work of serving our mission and values for the people who come through our doors, and we know that that ripples out into our communities. So as your lead minister, it's no easy thing to have 610 people be your boss. It's humbling, it's an honor, And it's no easy thing for you, our members, visitors, and friends, to continue to say yes to church when there are so many things that are pulling at us. When there's so many other things to do on Sunday mornings. Hockey parents, I still see you. Also gymnastics parents, I think those schedules are quite busy as well. And life is busy. Church is not a requirement or an obligation, it is an invitation. In old New England, when towns were first being established, you couldn't have a town unless you had a church in it. So it wasn't a town until there was a church in the middle of it, and everyone was required to attend church on Sunday. That's obviously no longer the case, but what a joy it is when you do come to church for all of those around you and for us, the staff who serve you. Sometimes in a large church, it's easy to feel lost or like you're not noticed, and I want you to know that you are noticed and it makes a difference. I'm learning where each of you sits, and it warms my heart when I see you there, and I'm not going to point you out because that is not the Midwestern way. But know that I see you. It makes a difference when you show up for each other because the people around you also notice you. It makes a difference for the person who maybe the only hugs they receive that week are at church. There are people here for whom that is true, and that is part of why this place matters. It makes a difference for the person who might be crying in the pew for someone to, with consent, hold their hand. This world reminds us over and over again of the ways we are separate. Fascism and white supremacy culture tells us that we don't need each other, that we're only in it for ourselves, and we come here to be reminded that we need each other and we are greater together. And the voices of children remind us that we need each other, that all are welcome here. We come here to be reminded that we don't have all the answers, but we have these shared values that anchor us on our spiritual journeys. And your pledges help us to have a physical place, a building, LED lights, solar panels, cake at coffee hour, where we can search for truth and meaning and figure it out and think we have the answers and then throw them all out and keep searching together. And all of these things make this place possible, a place that says, come into this place which we make holy by our. And we come here to be reminded that we can do great things together. Thursday evening, we had 130 people for our first Raising Racial Consciousness workshop. And it was hard to go to church on a Thursday night, especially for those who had come on Wednesday night. But so many people did and said yes, and we're so glad they came. That evening kept the fire of hope lit for so many people that have been feeling hopeless. And part of why our first workshop was a success was because of the dedicated volunteers and the Belonging and Community Team, the Social Action Committee, the Facing Race Stirring Committee, and our Raising Racial Consciousness Planning Committee. All of these dedicated volunteers, and then other people who just knew there are dishes to be done, I'm going to the kitchen to help out. I had to leave to go home to my babysitter at 8:30, and there were still people in the kitchen cleaning up. These are holy, sacred saints. And carrying dirty dishes builds trust. It does. I don't have to go searching for God. I see God, which in my theology is love manifested in your faces, in your presence, in your generosity of spirit, in the offering of affirmations or feedback, in the carrying of dirty dishes, in the volunteers who bring our beautiful flowers every week. God is here in this place. The divine is within all of us. We are made of stardust, that part of our soul that centers on love, trust, and connection. You and I must make a pact. We must bring salvation back. Where there is love. There are many reasons to go towards despair in this broken and hurting world. And our work is to tend to our covenants, tend to the people we make promises with, tend to our spiritual lives, because this is salvific. This place, these people change lives. We come here to tend to our spirits and to take that out into the world. And this world needs our message that love is in the center. This month, we invited you to write on hearts in the atrium. They're off to the right when you exit the sanctuary, with the following prompt: who will you protect? Over and over again, people listed people with marginalized identities. They listed their families. They listed staff members here. We are responsible for each other. We are in this together. We will make it through this time, not unscathed, not unharmed, but we will make it through this together. This is the work of shared ministry, the work that we entered into covenant to almost a year ago today at my installation. So to close our service today, I invite us to remember and recommit to those promises we made together last year, to remember the foundation beneath us. And if you are visiting today, I invite you to just receive these words and know that this is continuing to tell you who we are. Will all present please rise in body or spirit and repeat your promises that will be shown on the screen, and then I will repeat mine after. And I responded, with gratitude and humility, I joyfully take up this ministry. With intention and care, I promise to journey with you towards making the world a more brave, loving, and just place. I promise to support you in your search for what brings you connection and meaning through all of the hope and heartbreak that life has. With joy, I will bless your babies, and with sorrow, I will bury your beloveds. This is a privilege that I am honored to hold. I promise to support the health of this community and staff, and I covenant to join you as we grow our souls and serve the world. And so with those promises recommitted to this morning, I want you to know in closing, dear ones, I love being your minister. I love building trust with you. I love that we are bound by covenant, responsible to each other, tending our spiritual lives as we work for justice in the world. We need each other now more than ever. Thank you for your holy yeses, your pledges, your volunteer time, your presence. Your people are my people, and you bring me hope when hope is hard to find. Amen. And please join us in our closing song, Where You Go by Shoshana Jedwab. Rack is going to lead it. If you don't know it, you will know it shortly.
Where you go,
Will you join me in singing that chorus one more time and look around at each other while you sing it? For your people are my people, your people are mine. Your people are my people, your divine, my divine. May you remember that we are each other's people. We are family. We are all connected and responsible for each other as we go forward. If your flame of hope is dim, may it be lit by looking at and seeing the divine in the eyes of another as you go forth from this place, and may you help someone else keep theirs lit as well. Please remain risen for our postlude, and then join us in the social hall for cake. Please turn and greet your neighbor and invite them to the social hall.